Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Nimithrander, and today we'll be continuing the Whirling Waltz. Now, last time we ended up with a choice. Either go with Navia and begin the theatrical production with the Chevalmeran film business, or we go with Kanish to the Palais Mimonia to see what is up with that weird Natlan gun, quote-unquote gun. And I suggested we be going to Kanish first, so that's exactly what we shall do. Ah. And immediately, Oron and Aoife. Good morning, chaps. How are you?
Oh, man. Bro! Are you mimicking me? Now's not the time. Come on.
I was gonna say, don't you always refer to me as Gramps, Oron? I grant that I've told you not to do that several times, 'cause the Traveler looks younger than you, but... Ay. Moving on.
No, I mean, one of our buddies is here, for real. Quite a few of them, actually.
Okay, since Kanish came with us, I suppose you were referring to him as bro. So I suppose that's consistent.
Aurora and Aoife, what brings you to Fontaine?
Huh? How come you're... Ah, I'm guessing Kanish is here because of that international smuggling case, right? I've heard quite a bit about that.
Word sure gets around quickly, huh?
First time abroad and you're already making headlines.
Oh, stop it. It's not like I was the center of attention.
Wasn't expecting to see the Traveler and Paimon here too, though.
Come on, Aoife.
Huh?
A traveler, by definition, is someone who travels around.
Fair point. Anyway, back on topic. Wait a second. I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about again?
Why, you're all here, of course.
For vegetables.
Huh?
I'll go first. It's for the Chevrolamine Film Fantasyland. Wait, is that right?
It's Cheval Moran.
Right. I keep stumbling over that one. Guess I owe Cheval Moran an apology, even if she's not here.
It's alright, I do sometimes get tripped up with names myself.
Anyway, long story short, the festival restaurant urgently needed fresh vegetables from Natlan, which is why Aoife and I are here.
So, you guys are vegetable couriers?
He is. I'm just here as a responsible adult. It's his first time traveling so far away from home, and all the elders in his tribe were worried. So they had me come along.
Makes me wonder why Seed Lolly couldn't be the one to escort him. She is his grandma, after all. Then again, I don't imagine Seed Lolly would be all that keen on interacting with so many strangers. She was literally a recluse for most of her life, so coming all the way out to a big city like Fontaine would probably overload her a little bit.
Even though it's your first time too.
Right, but they still picked me to accompany you. You gotta wonder why that might be.
Don't you get it? They all just saw how overworked you were, so they used it as an excuse to send you off on a vacation.
Wait, what? So I'm getting the grandson treatment now too? See? Doesn't matter how much older you are than this dude. Hang out with him long enough, and you'll eventually find yourself being treated like a kid.
Meaning everyone looks after you. What's so bad about that?
In theory, nothing at all. In that case, guess I better start over. Hi, guys. My name's Aoife. And I just turned 5.
Nice to meet you, little bro.
Paimon's not sure who the responsible adult is anymore.
That would be Kanish. He's the only one who was out here and expected to handle his own affairs, apparently.
So, what about Kakuku? If he was here, we'd be making more of a ruckus than we already are.
Oh, wait. Did you run afoul of that law? The no releasing flying objects on the first 3 days of the month? The very same reason a how has been stuffed into Kanish's pocket this whole time?
That's exactly what's got me worried.
Aoife, there's nothing to worry about. You're a big boy. You can handle yourself now even without Kakuku.
You think that's what I'm worried about? Anyway, my priority right now is Kakuku. Suffice it to say, Kakuku's in big doo-doo.
How so? He's so small, and all he knows are a few harmless phrases. What kind of trouble could he even get himself into?
Let me guess. Did he get caught out by the law on flying objects?
Bro, you too?
Not me. A how.
Oh, that pesky little chatterbox. So that's why he hasn't interrupted us this whole time. Guess he's too scared to show his face.
And cue a how correcting him.
That, plus he's already spouted enough nonsense for one day. So I've put him on mute until tomorrow.
You can do that? Why didn't you do that before? And all the time, frankly.
Nice one. If I was even half as decisive as you are, I would have kept a closer hold on Kakuku so he didn't get a chance to go flying off.
I guess that's what flying objects do.
Oh no, bro. Or rather, did Kakuku get caught by the guards for flying around?
If they had managed that, we'd at least be able to track him down. But when the guards started chasing him, Kakuku flew into that building next door. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a high-stakes pursuit going down in there as we speak. Just like one of those cool crime movies.
Which building? That one?
Yup, that's the one. Kakuku sure has a good eye for a getaway. It's the tallest building around. I may be able to fly up pretty high, but checking every last window would still take quite a while. As for Aoife, well, let's just say he's not flying anywhere without a Saurian. Sorry about that.
Not like it's my fault, though. You don't have to apologize on my behalf.
Wait a sec. What's this got to do with how high you can fly? Kakuku's got himself into a real mess here, like a panicked animal running straight into a trap. It's pretty worrying. I'm starting to picture him flapping through a barrage of gunfire while important documents are flying about left, right, and center.
I think that if that were happening, we'd be hearing the gunfire from out here, don't you think?
Heck yeah! If anyone can pull it off, it's Kakuku. He's always been such an awesome Saurus. I believe in him.
For real now? Do you even hear yourself, bro?
Of course I'm for real. I'd never make light of something like that.
All right. Everyone's an awesome Saurus. Well, the human version. But our priority right now should be to go in there and check up on Kakuku.
As it happens, Kanish and I were just heading over to the Palais Mimonia for something else.
Leave it to us.
You sure? Wow, awesome. That'll be a huge help.
Considering the urgency of this matter, why don't we all just stop chatting and go in to find Kakuku?
And if Kakuku doesn't listen to you, I give you permission to pull out a couple of his feathers.
Can you actually give me permission to do that? It's Aoife's partner, not yours, we're looking for.
Wait, since when was that up to you?
Well, then it's your call, bro.
All right then, if Kakuku doesn't listen to you, I also give you permission to pull out a couple of his feathers.
There you go. If he objects to that, tell him to come find us.
He won't. Trust me.
Well. That's interesting. I haven't had much call to actually enter the Palais Mimonia until now. It'll be interesting to have a look around. Assuming I do get to look around. Ah, good. I thought they might just drop us straight into a cutscene the second we entered. Nice place they have here.
Nothing new there. The first few days of every month are always noisy.
What's all that commotion? Are they arguing in there?
The food in the cafeteria is excellent.
Yep.
If you're lucky enough to meet them.
The other two had voices, but not you, huh? Well, now we'll see. Well, looks like Risley's here. And so is Neuvillette. I hope they both have voices. But I guess we'll see, won't we? This particular quest has been pretty good about that. All the people from Natland had voices, but the ones from Fontaine have been spotty. Charlotte didn't, but Escoffier and Navia did.
No way, bro!
Did he say he came from Natlan? No.
Get out of here!
I can understand his words, just not what they mean.
Oh no.
For real now? Kakuku, are you arguing with the Hydro Dragon? And it's so good to hear both Neuvillette and Risley have their voices. I was worried about that, I really was. So, thumbs up. We have voices for Risley and Neuvillette. Wonderful.
Bro!
He keeps repeating the same things over and over again. Oh, you know one another.
He's a bro of a bro.
He's a friend! Yeah! A Saurian friend of a human friend!
Great. Well, that was easy. Looks like we've tracked down the owner. Guess that's one less lost and found notice for you to write, Monsieur Neuvillette.
For real?
Traveler, was there something important you wanted to discuss with the Udex? I'm just about done with my business here. Need me to step out?
Stay and hear them out first. Perhaps it will have some bearing on your own work. If I'm not mistaken, you are the same Mr. Kanich who served as a witness in the smuggling trial? I take it there's been a further development in the case.
That's right. Very perceptive, Mr. Udex.
So you've met Neuvillette before? But wasn't the trial overseen by another judge?
I've seen his photo in the papers. But as for this other gentleman...
Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Risley, administrator of the Fortress of Meripede. Or in layman's terms, Fontaine's prison warden. Please, feel free to share anything about the case. There's no need to keep anything from him.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you!
Wow, that sounded just like me. But should we really discuss official business in front of the Saurian?
Oh, wow! Oh, no!
I believe he said... Or rather, I suppose he meant that he'll keep this to himself. Though I should mention, Mr. Kukuku, that we will have to ask you to sign a confidentiality agreement.
Sign?
Sure thing, bro.
I suppose Saurians are all, descended of dragons? So, familial understanding, I guess? A bit silly with this, considering Kukuku is actually speaking the common tongue of Teyvat, so... a bit odd, I think, but we'll roll with it.
Let us return to the matter at hand. Mr. Kanich, was there something else you wanted to discuss relating to the case?
Yes. Let me fill you in.
Kanish tells Neuvillette and Risley about Lepine Pauline finding the quote-unquote gun. Neuvillette makes inquiries with the relevant personnel, and sure enough, they locate the box and the gun that Lepine Pauline spoke of.
Wow! It really is exactly like Lepine Pauline's sketch! That must be all that practice drawing engineering blueprints, huh?
So if it's true that this weapon came into Fontaine alongside the contraband from the smuggling case, then there's a high chance we overlooked a suspect.
That's exactly my line of thought.
I see. Mr. Kanich, thank you for reporting this promptly. I'll arrange for the Marechaussee Phantom to investigate right away. We should begin by questioning the prisoners in custody.
Oh?
Risley.
I'll sign off on the interrogation request, don't you worry.
That would be much appreciated.
It's lucky that the Palais Mermonia wasn't scheduled to release any public bulletins today, and that this gun's lost and found notice hasn't been written up yet. In other words, the news hasn't leaked.
I'll be staying in Fontaine for the time being. If there's any progress in the investigation or you need my help, feel free to reach out anytime.
That goes for me, too.
Yep, we were just about to go help out with Lepine Pauline's convention. If there's any news, we'll keep you all posted.
Marvelous. Thank you all. Well then, all that's left is to...
Have Kukuku sign the confidentiality.
You miss me, bro?
He really does come out with the most unexpected things. Who did he learn it all from?
A couple of top bros from Natlan.
Huh. Well, it's pretty extraordinary.
Anyway, according to due process, we must first determine whether Mr. Kukuku qualifies as a flying object.
I think that he would qualify as a flying organism. Somewhat different from a flying object.
And, following on from our conversation just now, he also needs to sign a confidentiality agreement.
You know, while we have you, why don't we show you a how as well? Again, I'd be fascinated to see how Neuvillette reacts to a how claiming to be the almighty Dragon Lord.
Drafting said agreement may take some time.
Looks like you'll be staying with us for a while then, Kukuku. Excited?
I can help pass a message on to his friends.
That would save us a lot of trouble. Many thanks.
Don't mention it.
All right then, we'd better get going. No need to see us off.
And to think the start of this opened with the suggestion that Neuvillette had been stabbed by someone. False headline, but still disturbing.
I know you mentioned a while back that people from Natlan would soon start showing up all over the world, but I hadn't expected anything like this.
It seems no matter where they come from, all dragons are inquisitive by nature.
You can say that again, bro!
The same might well be said for humankind. The real reason you chose to stay to investigate this case was your curiosity about Natlan and Mr. Kukuku, was it not?
Guilty as charged. Nothing gets past you. So, how about we take this opportunity to chat a little more? We've got the world's best translator on hand, after all.
Sure thing, bro.
Interesting. Until we leave the Palais Mimonia, I think I'll stick to a Scopier. Just so that we don't have two Risleys bumping about. Wonder how Aoife's going to take it, finding out that Kakuku is incarcerated for the time being. Well, we shall soon find out, I suppose. And now that it's unlikely we'll bump straight into Risley again, back to Risley we go.
Aurora and Aoife, we found Kakuku!
What's the situation? How bad is it?
There's some good news and some bad news, I'm afraid.
Oh no. When I saw that Kakuku wasn't with you, I'd already prepared myself for the worst.
Relax, Aoife. Maybe Kakuku just prefers high-rise living now. Sometimes you just have to let the kids grow up and make their own choices in life.
For real now? Do you even hear yourself, bro?
It's not that bad. Kakuku's fine. Still very much alive and kicking for starters.
He hasn't been arrested either, so no jail time.
Even had an interesting chat with some veritable VIPs.
See?
You're not exactly reassuring me here.
As for the bad news, well, it's really not that bad. Kakuku accidentally overheard some top-secret stuff, so he has to stay at the Palais Mermonia for a while to sign a confidentiality agreement. But there's no need to worry. The person in charge of looking after Kakuku is super nice, so he'll be absolutely fine.
You'll just have to wait a bit longer, I'm afraid.
All right. That doesn't sound too bad after all. Wow, hearing that's put my mind to rest.
But based on my understanding of how things work here, the ban on flying objects should be over by the time Kakuku actually gets out.
What a shame. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to go have some fun without him.
You don't look disappointed in the slightest.
Anyway, Auroron and I will be staying in guest rooms upstairs at the Hotel de Boer for the time being. Feel free to drop by if you need us.
All right, bro.
Yay, problem solved! All right, let's catch up another day.
Act 1 complete. Alright then. A series of twists and turns. Wait until the morning of the day after tomorrow. Well, we will do that, but something of curiosity. A spark of curiosity has occurred to me. Last time, or in a previous video rather, we finished the quest Paralogism. And I'm wondering, we didn't get to see Mini Durin in his new human form. So let's go check in Albedo's office. The transformation seemed to have happened there. So maybe, just maybe, we might see him there. But, something tells me that it won't be quite that simple. But, curiosity killed the cat in this case. Yeah, I kinda thought not. Seemed like it would be, seemed like if they were going to actually have Mini Durin's new design, well, they would have shown it at the end of the Archon quest. So, I presume that it's simply not ready yet. I think my internet's going a bit slow. Yeah, I saw the red numbers 999 at the top there. Hopefully that won't mess with us too badly. Well, so far, not so much. Well, we have to wait until the morning after next day. And we need to wait until between 9 and 10, if I remember correctly. So, we'll have to wait just a little bit longer yet. I suppose in the actual story of these events, Ether and Paimon would have gone back to Navia and the Chevalmaran film group. And that's how we would have spent these 2 days, but, well, we're going direct.
It's been a few days. Ban on flying objects should be over by now. Let's head over to the Palais Mermonia to see how...
Looks like I accidentally cut Paimon off there. Oh well. Back to the Palais Mermonia. Looks like the internet connection's going a bit better now, back in the green. Let's hope it stays there. It's been a bit touch and go this last couple of days. I've had instances where I'd be fighting in daily commission enemies and suddenly be unable to swap characters, which completely throws off rotations, let me tell you. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. Looks like everyone's gathered. Except for Aoife and Auron.
Hey everyone, we're here! Oh hey, my little dudes! Good morning!
Morning, little dude.
Oh wow, Kukuku's learned a new greeting! Is that good news or bad news though?
No idea.
Sorry, I did everything within my power. But so far, I've only managed to teach him how to say good morning.
Wait, so that's all you've been up to this whole time? Get out of here!
I think that means no.
Huh? Okay, so good mornings aside, please tell Paimon there's been some other progress too.
Of course. That's why I'm here. Kukuku's not the only one that Mr. Risley's been getting to talk. I'm referring, of course, to the convicts.
It was nothing. These guys weren't exactly tough nuts to crack.
So, what's the deal?
After racking their brains, they remembered speaking to an inconspicuous middle-aged man just as they were preparing to pack up and leave Natlan. He was dressed in the manner of the Children of Echoes and carrying a box. Plus, the description matches the one the gun was found in. All in all, he didn't look any different from your average Natlanese traveler. Perhaps seeing that they were dressed as merchants, this man stopped for a chat, inquiring where their goods were headed, and even asking if they could share a boat. The smugglers were very cautious, though. They didn't tell him any specifics. But all this happened before I crossed paths with them. I happened to notice them as they were preparing to set sail. I thought they looked shady, so I snuck aboard, and ended up being carried along all the way to Fontaine.
It's a very good thing the issue with the ley lines was fixed before this happened. Oh, and suddenly a how is the loading screen. But yeah, before the ley lines were fixed, leaving Natlan could lead to insanity for the Natlanese who departed. So it's mighty good that all of that got sorted before Kanish took a ship with the smugglers. Could have ended very badly otherwise.
Boss, do we know if those Fontanians will even like this stuff? What if we can't shift it?
And that's why we call you a rookie. It's all supply and demand, kid. Supply and demand. Natlan's foreign trade is just starting to lift off. There'll be a market for it, you'll see.
That's right. So stop giving the boss trouble, rookie. Just do your job and keep an eye on the goods.
Are they merchants? Have they come to Fontaine to do business? Scarred face. Calloused hands. On closer inspection, the fabric looks worn at the knees and elbows, and his fingernails are dirty. Not exactly your typical merchant. Could he have previously been a warrior? Or even an adventurer? Something feels off. I'd better sneak up and get a closer look.
Oh, yep. Playing as Kanish.
Nice thinking, boss. This tourist tub's been fast-going and smooth sailing. Plus, no one's been asking us what we're up to.
That goes without saying. Big cargo ship would have been too slow, whereas the smaller ones would have been faster but way too bumpy. If we ended up damaging the goods by accident, all these months spent grafting away would have gone up in smoke.
Seriously? But there's hardly anything here. Would it really have taken them months to prepare? And why would they need to transport it with such care? Could they be secretly smuggling precious items out of Natlan? I'll need to find a way to get to the bottom of this.
Oop. Okay. Nope, not allowed to go far at all.
Let's go hear what these criminals have to say for themselves. Sure enough, there are relics inside the box. It's illegal to smuggle such items outside Natlan.
Hey, why the long face? You're abroad on business and...
Oops. I accidentally climbed when I didn't mean to. Okay, let's try this again.
I guess you're right.
Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Oh, pull yourself together. Tons of foreign tourists come traveling to Fontaine. I bet their luggage is full of all kinds of weird stuff. If someone insists on checking it all, just show them the purchase order we had drawn up. Those Fontainians can't get enough of their legalese, so I've heard. They can look all they want.
Aha. So their aim is to smuggle in contraband after all. Looks like I've gathered enough intel about the smugglers and their contraband. Time to inform port security.
Will it really be that easy, I wonder? Would be a bit of a waste, giving us Kanish as a trial character, only not to let us actually make use of his talents. But we shall see where we end up again.
So anyway, that was when I went and told the Fontanian guards about my suspicions. After an investigation and a chase, they finally apprehended them and sent them on their way.
Well, guess they're headed exactly where they should be.
Good job, Kanish.
Thanks.
Based on your recollections just now,
I was completely focused on those smugglers at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to other passersby.
That's only natural. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Kanish, you did great!
in other words, the person who brought the gun here, the one who lost it, has no connection to the smugglers whatsoever. They were working entirely on their own.
Oh dear, oh dear!
Sounds like Mr. Kukuku wants to chime in?
He said this elusive individual's actions are positively mystifying.
Did he now?
It's a good observation, I quite agree. However, we still know next to nothing about the person. Perhaps we should start by focusing on the lost item itself.
It came from ancient Natlanese dragon ruins. A lost object that was picked up. The box was buried amidst junk. Someone was setting a trap, perhaps?
It certainly seems like it was the bait in some kind of trap. The only question is, why wasn't the bait made more conspicuous?
Has something sprung to mind?
I just remembered a film I watched this one time.
Huh? Oh, wow! No way, bro!
Hold on, let me explain. Just now, the traveler speculated that this box might have been placed there on purpose, as if the intention was for someone to come pick it up. That got me thinking about those films about kidnapping cases. When they demand their ransom, the kidnappers tell the victim's family to leave money or valuables at a designated spot for someone to come pick up.
That doesn't merely happen in films. There have been similar cases in real life. In fact, if anything, it's probably the real-life events that inspired the films.
Sounds plausible.
Ooh. Wait. This raises the stakes to a whole new level. If the gun really was some kind of ransom, then since we took the box, the kidnappers never got their payment, so does that mean they executed the hostage?
Paimon, stay calm. We haven't heard of any missing people. Or, well, it's been 2 days. I suppose I should ask the Udex and the good Duke if they have heard of any such disappearances.
I agree. I don't believe we have a kidnapping on our hands. Selling off stolen goods is extra work that most kidnappers would want to avoid. Unless they're after something very specific, they tend to just ask for cash. Could we be dealing with a kidnapper who's dead set on getting their hands on an ancient dragon handgun? It's not impossible, but the likelihood is very slim. We can discount that possibility for now. And speaking of selling stolen goods, don't you think this looks more like a transaction?
About the cellar. And the buyer. And the gun in question. About the incomplete transaction.
So, bottom line, this was an individual smuggler at work.
Exactly. And it was the location itself that caused the deal to fall through. The last thing they would have expected was for a quiet beach to turn into a bustling film convention overnight. Not only is the area now packed with tourists, but the Spina di Rosula have a presence there. I'll bet that both parties were completely caught off guard.
Great inadvertent job, Lapine Pauline.
That sounds like a plausible theory, but how do we verify it?
Looks like your people better start rolling up their sleeves.
How so?
Easy. Just follow the usual procedure by putting up a lost and found notice. The more routine we make it seem, the more likely the suspect will come forward to claim it. Even if they send a proxy, we're liable to get our hands on new leads. And timing-wise, it's about time we updated the bulletin board anyway. All we need now is a lucky gestionnaire to write up the notice for us post-haste.
Ah, so that's what you meant by rolling up their sleeves. In that case, I may as well write it myself. Delegating this to someone else would require an additional explanation.
Or are you just not used to asking others to work overtime?
Is that really a major concern here?
Well, looks like I won't be needed around here. At least until the notice has been posted.
You could always wait here if you like. The Palais Mermonia serves a particularly fine cup of tea, if that swings it for you.
Thanks, but no thanks. I left a very noisy creature with a friend before heading out, so I should probably get back to feed it.
I wasn't aware that you had a pet, Mr. Kanich. Speaking of pets...
Get out of here!
Yep, that's the plan. Out of here, indeed.
I believe that what Wriothesley is trying to say is, you are free to leave, Mr. Kukuku. Furthermore, it has been determined that Mr. Kukuku should not, in fact, be classified as a flying object. As such, he shall be free to move around Fontaine whenever he so pleases.
You're the best, bro! Oh, that really is good news! Travelers, should we bring Kukuku back to Aoife and Auroran?
Naturally.
I shall leave him in your capable hands.
Let's keep in touch, shall we?
Indeed.
It occurs to me that we also haven't seen Furina around yet. Ooh. Okay. I was worried we'd crashed for a second there.
You know, all this has made me realize that I'd quite like to have a pet.
If that proves inconvenient within the fortress of Meripede, perhaps you should consider finding a place in the court of Fontaine.
That actually sounds like a good idea. In the past, I always dismissed the idea of buying a property in the city. The prophecy about the floods meant it never seemed like a worthwhile investment. But now...
This might be a good time for you to re-examine the documents I gave you regarding your title as Duke.
Huh?
Citizens with honorary titles are eligible for certain benefits when purchasing property in the court of Fontaine.
Really?
How about this? You read through your documents from start to finish, while I write up the lost and found notice.
Interesting. So Wriothesley might actually get to live above ground. Or, in this case, above water. Well, interesting developments. If he comes to live on the surface, well, he would more easily be able to meet with some of his friends, such as Navia or Clarand. Let's see, I do believe that Aoife and Auron said they were staying at the... were staying... Getting tongue-tied for no good reason. They were staying at the Hotel de Boer, last I recall. I wonder if they have availed themselves of us. Well, I was going to say availed themselves of Escoffier's brilliance, but... well, it would be brilliance by proxy, as it would be her successor, Savannah, who would be providing the delicacies at the hotel's restaurant. Oh, yep, looks like a How is out and about again. Oh my, I just realized. Kanish, you set a How on poor Auron and Aoife? My, that's almost heartless of you.
A How?
What? What now?
Let's shake hands.
Fine by me. Get ready for a knuckle sandwich!
Oh, nice dodge.
Paimon feels strangely inclined to keep a safe distance. Did you miss me, bro?
Cuckoo, you're free!
Ugh, not you again. Nope, didn't miss you in the slightest.
Hey, Gramps. And hey, Paimon and Kanish. It's good to see you all. Thanks for bringing Kukuku back.
Get it away! Get it away from me! Nice to meet you, bro. Who are you calling bro? Say that again to my face! I dare you.
If you've got the energy to argue this much, you're clearly not hungry yet. Let's go find something to eat while a How lives his best life.
Sounds good to me. Oh, look, he's crying.
Poor How. He spent all day being tormented by Auroron, only to discover that the suffering's just begun.
Aoife, as a Saurian vet, how can you just sit back and watch our little dragon bro suffer?
Because he deserves it. Many times over.
Huh? How am I the bad guy?
Even hear yourself? Ah! Doesn't anyone want to hear how Kukuku got out of jail?
Amidst the racket, you briefly explain what happened with Kukuku to Aoife and Auroron. Hearing that Kukuku now has permission to move around freely, a How's face goes even redder than before.
Don't lose hope, How. By the same standard, you have freedom of movement now, too. You're still in the game?
Same standard? I will not be held to the same standard as that thing!
That's right. You won't. As far as I understand, the Palais Mermonia will want to assess your case on its own merits before they grant you freedom of movement.
Where's that Saurian meat restaurant again? I'm gonna march that little pink balloon right into the kitchen!
Yeah, good luck with that, bro. You'll be putting your own neck on the line, too.
Also, there's no such restaurant!
Anyway, thanks for looking after a How, guys. I'll take over from here.
Why you?
One Kukuku delivered as promised. And looks like we managed to swap Saurians, too.
Between the two, Kukuku wins the cuteness competition hands down.
Getting picky now, huh?
Really? Thanks!
Looks like Aether said both, giving Paimon the cuteness award.
Wait, who are the other contestants, though?
Do you want them in alphabetical order? Well. I think we will... Yeah, we'll continue just a little bit longer, though I will be wrapping up the video soon. Next day between 8 and 10. As we just passed the 50-minute mark, but I also want to catch Paimon's little reminder that we should go and see Aoife and Auron. Or will she tell us to go to the Udex and the Duke? We shall see.
The lost and found notice is up! Maybe we should go hang around the Palais Mermonia to see if anyone shows up to claim it.
Alright, well, that is precisely what we shall do in tomorrow's episode. So, if you have enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do check out my Elden Ring Let's Play, as well as my playthrough of the Genshin Impact main story. I post Monday through Friday, so do remember to hit the bell to keep up with notifications. And as always, have a good day.